Welcome to this very quick intro to our Brizy Cloud multi-page full course that's going to go into a couple of hours, but will give you all the skills that you need to run a multi-page on Brizy Cloud. This is going to cover Brizy Pro. All of this presented to you with the love and care of the Brizy Academy. And if you want to know more about the Brizy Academy, hop on over to brizy.io and then go to our knowledge area and you will find the Brizy Academy here. You can also filter, so you have WordPress, you have Cloud, and we have a number of tutorials already here, like the starter tutorial, how you can get set up with Brizy Cloud. In this one, we're taking it one step further, and you can also check out YouTube for the full-length video on the starter course on which this one is built upon. So we're not going to really cover all that stuff that we did in the previous one. We'll touch here and there, do a little bit of review, but what we want to do here, build a website with pages, see how a one-click starter site installation will work, mega menu, global blocks, automatic pop-ups, on-click pop-ups, form integration, and the lot. My name is JP. Let's get rockin' and rollin'. Right, let me get my notes and then we rock and roll onto what we are going to be doing in this tutorial. Now we're talking about templates in part 1 and we're going to do that with a one-click installation. And the website that we're going to be installing is this one I refer to as Dietitian, one of the new 26 that were released recently for Brizy Cloud and Brizy WordPress, and we are working with Cloud. Just a quick overview. We've got home, services and pricing, blog, about, and contact. And this is, well, everything you can expect from a dietitian website. All about those healthy things that you want to know and the things you wish you didn't know. And then there's a price to it. This is a pre-made template, which means that you can install it with just one click. To get it, you need to go and visit Brizy. So let's go and do that. And in your browser, you're going to type there brizy.io. Once you get to the Brizy website, you go to the top where you see templates, and then you select in the drop-down templates. And this is going to give you 100 plus templates that you can use. Now, some of these are multi-pages, which is what we're doing in this course. And then some of them are one-pages. And the difference between a one-page and a multi-page is your decision. That's basically the difference. At the top, you have a filter. So if you are really interested in something specific and you think you can find it here, go through this filter. Quick note that within Brizy Builder, you're also going to find these layouts within the block manager as separate pages. You won't be able within Brizy Cloud to import them as a full site. You'll only be able to import them on a page-by-page basis. That's okay if you've already built out a site and you're just looking for some ideas and you see a section within a page that you want to use, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But for this part, we want to bring in the entire website, the demo website as is, and we're going to use that awesome cloning feature. Now to find dietitian, I guess we go to sport and health, and then we have a look here. We've got yoga, telemedicine, skiing, horses, healthy. I already see dietitian over here. Hover over it and there are three things. The first thing is it tells you it's pro. All of these are basically pro, right? The free version has a handful of a few free designs, but everything else is locked behind this pro label. And that's why we want to go pro, right? Hover over the one you want to have a look at. And here you have the preview design. That's the one I just showed you. If you click on it, it opens a new tab in your browser and you can go through it and have a look if this tickles your fancy. If it does, Bobby, you come back here and then the next step is to start with this design. In our case, we have decided that we are going to go with Dietitian. So we will import it to Brizy Cloud so we can begin making changes to it. That process, the one-click installation, or rather the cloning, we'll be doing in the next chapter. In this chapter, we're going to do the one-click installation and bring our Dietitian pre-made template into Brizy Cloud. But before we do that, just make sure that you've already logged into Brizy Cloud. It's not the end of the world if you haven't, but I recommend that you just do that because you will see how this cloning process or one-click installer is going to very nicely work with your Brizy Cloud account. And if it's already logged in, you don't need to go through that logged in procedure. If you have multiple accounts, make sure you logged into the account in which you want that template to load. So I've got mine open here, and we'll talk a lot about everything here. If you have no idea what this dashboard is for, you go watch our starter course for Brizy Cloud, where I explain about this dashboard, but we'll go into details, especially the pro functions like the workspaces and the team members and those kind of things later in the course. Now we go back to our templates, which we accessed in the previous chapter at brizy.io under templates, and we have dietitian. Here you go, start with this design. Now, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but Brizy actually has two products, and both these products can produce websites. One works with another platform called WordPress, and if you are working with WordPress, you can follow tutorials on that along, but this link here does not work with WordPress. Within WordPress, you will get the one-click installation right within WordPress. For Brizy Cloud, you come to this page and you install it from here. All you do now is you click start with this design, and look, we're going to go through a process that lasts less than 50 seconds. It's going to install all the pages for you plus the images and get all your assets ready so you can begin building out. That's it. I took a breath there in the middle just to catch my breath, and we are done. Let's have a look at what has happened with this installation in the next chapter. In this chapter, we're going to have a look at exactly what the one-click installer has done by bringing in this pre-made template for us. Now, this is where we are. We had clicked on that link. It went through the cloning process, and then it gave us our own little clone to play around with. Within our dashboard of this website, which is the CMS in the top right corner, you click on that CMS for Content Management System. Basically, it's a big word to mean everything you put here for your website. Okay, so we have pages. Even though this site does have something like a blog, this is not blog in the actual sense with dynamic content, which we will be covering in the third course for Brizy Cloud. Let me just jump back here. I know that because if I click on posts, you're going to see this is empty. And this is where you really do your dynamic content, such as blogging. But with this pages feature here, you have an idea of how you can set up a manual blog page if you want to do so. Apart from that, select menus next to assets. And we see that there's a nice little menu created here for us with a sub menu item here under blog. Close that, and then we close here. Let's click here on this plus between these two blocks, which opens the block manager for us. I'll hop over to global blocks because what we do with these templates is we use global blocks to regulate the header, and we regulate the footer and other parts that we want to appear on many pages, and you can see them here. Not sure if anything is under saved pages. I doubt it. No, these are my own personal saved blocks. They are not related to this one that we've just imported. Let's close out, and that's it. It's basically all that has been done. If I go to our CMS again and just want to go to project settings, I want to show you that there is nothing in terms of your site name under SEO. It doesn't have a site name. There's no description, nothing for social sharing. This is bare bones. You get the content. You get the pages with the content and the global blocks, but you still need to do a lot. Before we continue and start doing all of those glittery things, let's give our project a name so it doesn't get lost on our Brizy Cloud dashboard. We do that next. A project name is how you identify your website within the Brizy dashboard. At the beginning, before I cloned, I opened my Brizy Cloud. It doesn't appear here yet. it created a new project, it added it, but this page hasn't refreshed. I'm going to close this one, otherwise we're going to get super confused. Close it out, and then within our cloned page, at the bottom here on the left, bottom left, click on More and click on Go to Dashboard. I'm going to get the same dashboard I had just previously, but now you can see project number 7 has been created. And when you clone the project from the templates, it's going to give you a project name, so you have to change it here. I'll call it Dietitian Demo, and that's it. This is just to remind you that the cloning process doesn't bring in the name of the template. It gives it a project name. And if you start cloning a lot and you come back later, you're just going to see project 7, project 8, project 9, and you're not going to know which one is which. So do this at the beginning. If you feel reckless or if you feel brave, you can do it at the very end. But trust me, you're going to come back at one point and wonder, what's this one over here? And then you do what I do. You just think you need to delete it, and later you wonder, what happened to my amazing website? Enough of that. Let's get back into it. Now that I've changed the name, let's click on Edit Project, and we move back into our Dietitian pre-made layout template. To clear up my browser, I'm going to go to this one and close it so only the builder is open. The next step, I think, let's look at customization, changing out the colors and changing the typography. In this chapter, we talk about customization in terms of colors and typography. I'm going to really skim over this. In the previous course, I went into detail as to how you set that up in global styling. And that is, or rather here is, where global styling plays a massive important role. All these colors you see here, this green, basically green, green, green. I wonder why it's green. They are all regulated over here on the left next to global styling, and you can see the colors appear here. It is set to a style called Overpass, which is actually not these colors, but that's fine. We're going to change them anyway. And then if we look at our font, we're going to see it's put to Lato or Lato. Never know how to pronounce this one. Lato. I'm just going to make random changes here. You are going to think about the kind of design you want and the color scheme you want and which kind of fonts you would like. But I want to show you the power of the global styling. Where is the green? Let's put it here so I can have a good look at all of this green. And it seems to me that most of these swatches weren't actually used. It's basically just these two, a dark green and a light green. I'm going to go for something orange. Don't know why. You can ask anyone. For some reason, I always end up with orange. I'm probably wearing orange at this moment as well. And there's a cat that also wants to give an opinion. I'll go to the orange here and I'll make it a light orange. And you can see as I do that, how it updates on the page. What I'll do is just copy this code in the bottom. And then I'll go to the darker one, I'll paste it, and then grab the selector and bring it down so we almost get to a darker brown. That's how you work up on these tones and shades. And in no uncertain terms am I at all certain about the other colors. I'll just go and change all of these. I'll paste that code again, but this one I'll move similar, something here, and then change this one as well. So I'm using the same orange code, but I'm dragging the selector to different tones and shades on the page. Go for this one. And the reason I do that is because I really don't know if the designer / developer had maybe used this somewhere else on the page. I just want to make sure that I switch it out. So I think this color that we have here in the background is slight teal. I'm not sure. Yes, you can see a little bit of green. So I'll paste my orange again. Aha. That actually doesn't look bad. No, we're going to stick to the original, so I'll put it over here just slightly. And this is a gray, but again, you see there's a green in it. Remember where that selector is? I'm going to paste my orange, and I'll bring the selector to more or less the same place. And now I've changed out the colors. You're going to change it out to the way you want, and you can probably go really wild with this. But I think based on how they had used it, you're probably not going to have too many colors to play around with. Of course, you can override many of these colors. If you come to this icon box here and you want to change the background of this one, you click on it, then you go to background, and let's give it a different one like this. And let's see if we can copy and paste the style. Right click, copy, and you go to this, oh no, icon box. Right click on the icon box, icon, right click, this column. Okay, there, right click there, copy, then right click here. It must say icon box, paste styles. Aha, it works. And this is how you also can then apply your own changes different to that how the designer had set it up. I often get into this just to feel like I've done something, I didn't cheat completely. Go through it and set it up. Next step for that customization will be your typography. So we go to global styling and I'm going to choose a font. Simple as that. I'll scroll down here, see if anything looks good. Let's go Fira Sans and I'm going to change all of them to Fira Sans. Don't see many changes here. Just have to make sure that you change all of them. Again, you are not sure whether the developer or the designer, I keep saying developer, could be a designer, there you see changes for that one, heading 1, had used any of these presets somewhere. So it's better, even though you think you only need 1 or 2, that you come in and change them. And I've seen people who have sent us showcases and have used many of these presets, blocks, or layouts, and they didn't go through this. It's unfortunately a step that you need to do. Unfortunately, it's fortunate. Not unfortunately, well, you just have to go through these extra few steps. And the button, important, you'll see how the button will change there. Fira Sans. That bold is set to black. That's too much for me. Let's try medium. That looks much better. And I have a look also at the weight. For example, if I click on this one, typography, it's on paragraph, but it's set to bold. Do you like that? I don't. Not with this color scheme. So again, I'll see if I can copy. Let's say it doesn't want to say paste styles here. So I'm just going to do all of these guys manually because that bold looks a little bit 1995. All right, let's do that. Take it away. And it's because I changed the colors. That's why it doesn't look right to me at this moment. And I also recommend, now that you've gone through this page and everything looks good on this page, that what you should do is save it, Control S, Command S, or hit update in the bottom right corner, and then navigate to one of the other pages. And we do that by going to the content management system and under pages, have a look at all the pages. So let's go to about, and to edit it, you select this icon here on the right, and that takes you into the About page. So you see, this is what I mentioned about having to come in and really make those changes across all the pages. This is, so put this, oh no, okay, no. What was it? Orange, let's put it back on orange and then select the background, and I'll put the background on white. It's an interesting one. Background, and this is white. This is for the icon. And you also have hover here. So let's select the hover tag and also put that on white. Right. Same for this one. Hover, background, white. Let's see the buttons as well. Button is fine. And we'll do this for the other pages. Well, not me, you'll do it for the other pages. We're done with that basic customization. The one we're not going to do here, but which is fairly important for you, is to switch out the images and the text. That we did in the starter course. So if you want to know how to do that, check out the starter course on Brizy Cloud. For us, in the next one, we're going to talk about a super duper amazing, excellent, world famous feature of Brizy Pro, and that is pop-ups. We're going to spend 2 whole chapters on that. The first one is what I refer to as an on-click pop-up, and the second one is automatic pop-ups with conditions. It's like, I'll do it for you automatically, but there's a condition. Okay, enough of the cold jokes. Let's get to the next chapter. Hey, and welcome back to another chapter in our Brizy Cloud multi-page course here at Brizy. My name is JP, in case you haven't been following the first few videos, and we're going to be talking about on-click pop-ups. A on-click pop-up is created on the page, and people have to click on it to interact with it. That's why I came up with the term on-click. Maybe I didn't come up with it. Maybe I just saw it somewhere and I made it mine. You know, a little bit of misappropriation, but it's a nice name. What you need for a on-click pop-up is something that can be clicked on. And that is something that can be linked. Now in Brizy, many things can be linked. Text can be linked. If I click on the text, you will see we have the link icon here in the contextual toolbar. If I click here on this icon, there is the link again. Even the column can be linked. And there's a few others. In most cases, you're going to work with a button. And the functionality, or rather the use case for an on-click pop-up is you tell people to click on something, the pop-up will appear and maybe give them extra information. I use this a lot when I have additional information that I want to take away from my page. I don't want my page to be too crowded or like a video. And I will place it in the on-click pop-up so that people can click on it and then that will pop up and then they can work with it from there. A video is a very good case. So on our dietitian website, that's got this brown in the back, which I'm not fond of at this moment. Click on the button and then click on the link in the toolbar at the top. And a reminder from our first course, this toolbar is contextual, which means every element will look different depending on the settings that you can apply for that element and all the functionality. This is a button element. And we know that because if you right-click on it, you will see at the top, it will say button. So sometimes if you see a piece of text and you're not sure what is this, is it a button, is it a text, is it a line, just right-click and it will tell you what it is. Go back to the button, click on it, click again on link, and have a quick gander at what we have here. We have URL, we have block, we have pop-up, and file. These two we covered in the previous course. URL is a very common link, a hyperlink that you put on a page where you redirect people to another page or to an external website outside of yours. And the block is an on-page link, an anchor link. All these thumbnails that are created, they represent these blocks on the page. So if someone clicks here and you select one of these blocks, it will scroll to that block. We want to go to Mr. Pop-up. Yes, Mr. Pop-up. Currently, there is no pop-up, so you click on Mr. Pop-up and it opens up the pop-up manager, the pop-up block manager. This is similar to the block manager. It says create your own. Here we have again pre-made pop-ups. Have a look at the categories on the left. Features, media, notifications, sale, sign up, subscribe. Many of these will not relate to on-click pop-ups. They come into play when we talk about automatic pop-ups. But in this case, what I want is for the visitor to click on this button and then it says discover more. It will show them a video about me or my business or about eating very, very healthy. And I will select media thinking I'm going to get away with it. You see over here, we have these two pop-ups that contain videos. So I'm very happy with that. Let's select this one. And even though it gave us all that color scheme, remember it's going to draw the colors from the global styling. Once I select it, Brizy will drop it into that placeholder. But you cannot just stop here and continue. You need to go and edit it and make changes to it. And we do that by clicking one more time on the pop-up, and this opens the pop-up builder. If you are nervous about the pop-up builder, sit back, take a deep breath, nothing to get nervous about. First of all, I'm going to show you that it's the Brizy builder, just a little bit different. If you go to the left, you'll see the CMS dashboard icon is still there. Under that, you still see add elements, and you can use any of them. The difference here is that the pop-up will always only fill one screen, so you cannot add more sections or more blocks. Consider this one big block, a full screen, full width, full height block, and that is the pop-up. And people click on that little button, this thing is going to appear. And this here in the middle is where you put the content. So we want to put our video here, and you can see you can put YouTube here. So this is a video element. Let's talk about the video element first and change out the video. How to interact with it? You click on it and you get your toolbar. All the way to the left, that's where the main settings are. Select video and you see you have type. So do I want a YouTube? a Vimeo, a custom video, or a URL. Now, I think you should be familiar with YouTube and Vimeo. These two are pretty simple. There's a share link on those websites. You simply pop it in there, over here, and then it will load. Custom video means you're going to upload it and it's going to play through the Brizy player. However, this file needs to be super small. You cannot really upload many big things here. So in most cases, you're not going to get away with this. The last one is a URL. Many people are very scared of this, like, what is this for? I'll show you later how to do this by opening an account for free, and then you post your video there, and then you link it through this link over here, an MP4 link. For now, let's keep it easy and go back to YouTube. We need to go grab a link at YouTube. So let's hop on over to YouTube. I've already looked for some dietitian links here. All these people look so good. This guy over here, myself in just 20 days. And all you need to do once you find the video is click on the 3 dots, select share, and then copy the link. Then we hop back into the project and we go to where it says link, triple click to select everything, and then Control V, Command V, and you will see that it will update and we have this guy. Yes. A few other features here. You have playback, so you can put it on autoplay. You can mute the sound, you can loop it, have a look at that. And then you also have an option for a cover image instead of playing the thumbnail. And there is a good reason why you maybe want to add a cover image instead of using the thumbnail. And it's got all to do with your page speed and requests and things like that. We're not going to cover it. It's fine enough as it is at the moment. And filters, not sure you want to do that. Let's leave it like that. This is the video. So you've brought in the video, and then here is the text. Let's click on the text. You can become like me. Awesome and amazing and alluring. Okay. And then over here, there's a download now button. Click on file, and we're going to upload a file here that people can download how to become like this guy. The guy on the right, not the guy on the left. And that's it. This is the content area. If you need to bring in more, do it like you would do with the builder. Go to add elements, and let's bring in a line. Click, hold, and drag, and you see that thick gray line appears wherever you can drop the line. I can drop it there. Let's click on it. Go to the line. Let's make it one with an icon in the middle. Change out the icon. Put in, let's see if they have something for health. Health. Dietitian. A mushroom. I like it. Mushroom. And this is a cute mushroom. Let's change the size of that mushroom. And I did that with the line element. And if you need to move it around, any element, simply click, hold, and drag. It becomes a blue dot, and you can drop it in an alternative place. I'm going to put it back there. It makes more sense. You can also add columns within this. If you want to have a structure like that, go to the column element, drag it in. At the top, you see you have 2 columns. And we know it's a column within a column because pink. I want to undo. You do that by going to the bottom right, click undo, or Control Z, Command Z. Now we go outside of what we have here. And the first thing you need to note is that everything happens within a column, this blue column. And like everything else, you can style it out. You can put an image in the background. You can change the color of this one. Show you how to do that. You can add a shadow. But one level up here on the left is almost a row function. And this is the container for the content within the pop-up. Let's say that again. This is the container, the main container for the content of the pop-up. And you will see you cannot delete this one. If you go to the column, there's also no deletion. Everything else will have a delete button. So these 2 cannot be deleted. Next on the list is the close out button that appears here. Select the button, and we have a few options here. Let's go to the icon first and look at the size. I'm going to make it much bigger so we can see it better. Let's increase it even more. Really visible. I have it at 50 pixels. You can take control over its position with the lateral and vertical movement. I'll put it on 50, and then vertical, I'll also put it on 50. Something big just to show you how you can move it around. It comes in by default at a very decent place. And then you have the choice if you want to give it a little icon for, or a little shape for a background. change the color. Let's make it orange. And you have also then hover. So I'll put it on a darker color for the hover. And here, these two are going to decide the placement of where this close out button will appear. Select it again, and let's have a look at the first one. This will determine top or inside, outside or inside, outside or inside. So let's leave it on the outside. This one is going to determine which corner. You have the choice of 4 corners: top right, bottom left, and top left. I get confused. And let's put it back on top right. Last, but the most important, is actually the pop-up settings, which is the big block that we're working with here. Go over here and select the settings. Let's start all the way to the left, and you will see that we have scroll page behind. This you activate if you have something like a cookies at the bottom, or you have a small promo and you want people still to be able to scroll while they are looking at the pop-up. You can activate this. This case, we don't need it. And then the function, make it global. Now, global blocks we'll look at in more depth when we are doing the header. The close is this close button, the settings for that. Click outside to close, and this is important. I leave these on by default. Many people often don't see the X. I don't, or something goes wrong on the screen and it's cut off. People cannot see it, but they can click outside of the pop-up anywhere on this canvas, the white area. This means then if they click on it, it will close it. Display the close button. Yes, I want it, but I can also remove it. And then you have a delay. I usually put in a delay of something like 3 seconds. The purpose of the delay is that when the pop-up comes up, people cannot just immediately close it. But you don't really need a delay here. Why? Because this is an on-click pop-up. It means people clicked on this button to open the pop-up. They want to see it. Automatic pop-ups, the one we're covering in the next chapter, are often unwanted, but this one is done by choice. And I'm getting tired of looking at this guy. Let's move on. Here you have the next one, an image you can put on the background if you want an image, and then you have your overlays if we want to make that orange or change it to any of these colors. You can take it away completely so it's on the page like that. And let's put it on a solid white and reduce again the transparency to around 90%. You can save it, and then you can move the placement of this pop-up with these two. This is going to move it on a horizontal axis, yep, or a vertical axis. If you want it in the top right, that's how you're going to move it. And finally, your settings, width of your container. Make it bigger, make it smaller, and you can set the height over here. And this is how you've created your very first on-click pop-up. At the bottom, let's hit Update, Control-S, Command-S, and see how this works on the front end. To go back into the Brizy Builder, select Go Back here in the top left. I'll save my page again. I don't think it's necessary. Control-S, Command-S, and then hit Preview, Control-Shift-P, Command-Shift-P. Takes us to the front end. Scroll down, and this is here where we have the on-click for Discover More. And when I click on it, Handsome Man is going to come to us. And it loads the video. And later on, we'll look at how to download a PDF from here or a zip file. Close it, and you can test it again. Let's click on the canvas here, and you see it closes out. That is a on-click pop-up. It's great for more discovery, to give people something to look at it. I use it often for contact forms. So if I want people to contact me, I will put a button and I'll say contact me. When they click on it, it opens that little pop-up with a form in there where they can add their details. So I don't add the form at the very end of the page. It's a choice, but that's how I use the on-click pop-up quite a lot. Now you've learned about the on-click pop-up. Give yourself that golden star. You're going to get another one in the next chapter with automatic pop-ups, but there are a few conditions. Let's do that. By now, we've really looked too much at that interesting little pop-up. So let's talk about the automatic pop-ups in this chapter, and I'll quickly show you what that is. I've got a site here. I'll just reload it. And I have implemented 2 pop-ups here, and I've given them very different conditions. The first one, there you go, appears after 5 seconds. So this means that when a visitor comes to your site and the site loads, that page loads, it's going to take 5 seconds to load. I want you to note though that I've added a close this pop-up button. I don't have the close X that you usually see. This is the one that I've added, and that trigger that tells it when to appear is on page load after 5 seconds. And you can make many changes, and there are many triggers. We'll have a look at that. As I scroll down, at some point, I'm going to have another pop-up that's going to pop up. And that is going to happen once I've scrolled down around 75% of the page. Well, not around, exactly 70% of the page. And this is another trigger that I've set it on. And then with the triggers come conditions. Let's see what that is all about. We were here currently last on this page, and now you go to your content management system dashboard. This is just where all your settings are. And then here on the sidebar, you will see that we have pop-ups and alerts. Select. And we have nothing so far, so we're going to add a new pop-up. Some of this is a little different than the one that we've created in the page, but how you create the pop-up, I mean, the design is exactly the same. At the top, you see it's in draft mode. Let's put it on published. And then let's give it a title, and I'll call this test pop-up. Let me just get my spelling right there. And then at the bottom, click on Save Changes. And now we go and design it. To do that, just hop on over to the right and select Edit. And this takes you into the pop-up builder. Now again, this pop-up builder is 1-for-1, the same as the other one. What we do, let's bring in any of these pop-ups. I'm not going to build anything from scratch. Let's just grab something that catches our eye. Yeah, let's go to the top. This one is always a favorite of mine for demo Black Friday deals. And as I select it, it's going to drop it on. And you will see that the color scheme it's applying is the global styling. So it will look slightly different to the one that we have saved. Go to the top right corner, all the way to the left. And then you see you have this option here, Display Conditions. When you select that, it gives you this now with triggers and conditions. So the trigger is when this will appear. The first trigger that you get is on page load after 1 second. And then you can see we have quite a number of other triggers below that as well. So let's go with the on page load, and this will be in seconds, and let's increase this to just 3 seconds. Another thing is you can add a second one like I did in the previous, or like I did in the one that I showed you, is we can add a second one. So let's go and let's say on page exit intent. On page exit intent is once my cursor moves outside the viewport area here to the top. It's as if you want to leave this website, and then it will display. One thing very important here is this trigger pop-up only once. This you need to activate once your pop-up goes live, because you do not want this pop-up to appear each and every time for a visitor when they come to your site. I mean the same visitor. You know how annoying that is. If you go to a website, you go to the homepage, you get the pop-up. Then you go to services, you get the pop-up. Then you go to About Us, you get the pop-up. It's really an annoyance. But while you are testing it, it's a good idea to leave it unchecked so that you can see how it will look. Otherwise, you're going to see it only once. So let's leave it unchecked for now, but remember, before you click on conditions, I found that it's best to click on save, and conditions is the where. So triggers is when, and the conditions is the where. Currently, it is set to all pages. We can change that. You can put it on specific pages. So if I go down to pages, then wait for this one, and I can choose any of these pages. But let's go back and leave it on all, and I'll click save. And that is it. Once you are done here and you've set up everything, then you will go back and you will go to your page and you'll go preview it on the front. But before you do that, I just want to show you that little close button that I've previously shown you. You have the X here to close, but you can also make a button that says no thanks and then close it out. If I click here on this, and that can be any link, it can be button, click on the link and you will see you have the option for an action. And it will say close pop-up. So let's activate that. Update, Control S, Command S at the bottom. Then go to our pages and we select our home page. Let's edit that. And once our home page has loaded, we will go preview it on the front end. The pop-up is not going to appear here in your builder. Otherwise, that would be very annoying. So let's preview, Control-Shift-P, Command-Shift-P. And we set this to 3 seconds. Let's give it 3 seconds. And there you go. Instead of clicking on the X, I will click on no thanks. And it goes away. Have a look at the triggers, many to choose from. Really try this out, but I will give you a little bit of a management tip. Once you are done with a pop-up, it's really important that you go and deactivate it, remove it, or even delete it. So if you have a pop-up, let's go to pop-ups and alerts in the dashboard, and you want to keep this pop-up that you've designed. I'll click here on edit. We go into the editor. And you want to use this design in the future. Don't keep the pop-up itself, just keep the design. And you do that by going to the settings at the top and then click on the heart, which will give you the save. So in future, let's delete this one. Click on start building your pop-up, go to save pop-ups. And I'm saying pop-up a lot. Here's my other pop-ups as well. There you go, and you load it. So once you are done with this Black Friday deal, let's say this was 2022. Let's just save this. As per my recommendation, you go back into your content management system, you go to pop-ups and alerts, you go to test pop-up, and you select delete. Now at this moment, you cannot delete it because it's open. So just navigate to any other page. I'll go to home. And then let's go again to our system. Would be nice if it stayed open. Pop-ups and alerts, and then click on delete. Are you really sure? Do you really want to remove? I am sure. And now you removed it. So if you create a new one now from scratch, you just bring that in. Those are automatic pop-ups. So pop-ups are great. Automatic pop-ups are great. And how can you bring in a file that people can download? Often you have like a brochure in a PDF or a Word document. Yes, those can all be downloaded. We do that in the next chapter. I have my homepage open, and in this chapter, I want to add a document that we can download so that when people come to my site, when they click on it, it will download that PDF and they can discover more. Here I have a button, and again, buttons are those things that we tend to levitate to when it comes to call to actions, which means click on me and I'll do something. But remember, in Brizy Cloud, many things can become links. You have your container, like this column, can be a link. Even your text can be a link. Images, icons can be links. Just play around and find out where all those links are. Here I have Discover More, select the link, and these are the 4 options. And we've worked through all of them. You know what a URL is. You know what the block anchor link is. We did that in the previous tutorial. Pop-up, we did an on-click, and finally we get to File. This is a pro feature. Once you select it, your Explorer/Finder will open. And I'll grab this one that I want to add here. There is my PDF uploaded, and I'll say Update. And then we go open it on the front end. Scroll to Discover More and select it. And that happened so quickly, but up here it has downloaded Diet Advice Basics, my PDF. And there you go. Diet Advice Basics. Eat your banana. Great. And that's it. You can do this with other files as well if you have images. But I would recommend one thing. If you have images that you want people to download and you want to make sure it downloads and doesn't open a new tab displaying that image, first put it in a zip folder, which basically every operating system nowadays can do. So you put it in a zip folder and upload the zip folder. With that, I think it's time that we have a look here at our join list with email notification. We probably can go to our Contact Us page as well and have a look at how you work with email notifications. In the free version, whenever somebody sends you a message online, there is no notification that goes out to you in the Wild West telling you, hey, you've got a message. You actually physically have to come and check it in the Brizy dashboard. But with the Pro version, you can set up your email notifications so that you actually get an email that tells you, hey, Cassandra, there is a message for you. We do that in the next chapter. To work with email notifications, let's go to our Contact Us page. Where am I? This is the front end. I'll close this, and then here I'll go to my dashboard, Pages, and then Contact, go over to Actions, and then select Edit. So we have a form that's already set up here, and we want to make sure that when this person fills it in and it sends it out, that it actually will send us also a notification that there has been an email that came in. With this, what do we have here? Your name, email address, phone number, and a subject. We'll write a message. Standard, nothing to wax lyrical about here. We like that. So let's click on Send Message. And then to set that up, you go all the way to the right where you see the little plug for the little plugin. We can call this integration. So select the integration, and this email is the one that is blocked in the free version, but now it is open. So let's select email notification. The email to, this is your email address, and I'll put that at my email address, and you can add multiple email addresses here. Ever unsure, just hover over the question mark and it will tell you. If you need to have multiple emails, you can separate them by commas. So go ahead, if you have more than one email address, or you are partners that work together, or you have an assistant that actually checks those emails for you, put the comma there, put their email address. And I think the subject is important. And here you have a few short codes that you can add. These are really, really helpful. So you have a subject that's going to appear. You see next to the subject, there's a little copy. You can click that, and then here in the field, just paste it, Control, Command, V. And then from is the email address, the person that is sending that to you. So click to copy, and then paste that. Click Continue, and you're done. So let's go and test this out. I will make sure that it's in by clicking Update, even though it says I don't need to do that. I'm always confused. I made a change. It doesn't need saving. And then we preview it on the front end, and let's go fill that in. Scroll to the bottom, or that's not very far. Let's give this a name, Cassandra. Cassandra, let's give her full name, Cassandra DeToy. And then her email is cassandradt@superemail.net. And her phone number, something like that. And subject, hello everyone. And then here is a message. Here is a message. And then Cassandra goes ahead and say, send message. And if everything goes well in the world of the internet, you'll get that green bar that says your email was sent successfully. Right, so let's go and see if I got that notification within my email. Here we go. I got the email, and it says, here, Cassandra, this is the email. And there is the subject, hello everyone. And then all that data that appeared within the email will appear here in the message. This is how you will get that personal notification, but many of you will be using mailer integration. If you don't know what a distribution list or a mailer is, that is when you work with a third party where you can collect or add many multiple email addresses and then just send one email, and that distribution platform will send it out to everyone else. That is a mailer platform or distribution list. Very, very popular if you have a big group of people and you send out newsletters. Instead of every time doing that manually by yourself, you just use the mailer. And there are many other reasons why you would like to do that as well. Let's have a quick look at that in the next chapter. Let's talk about mailer integration in this chapter, and mailer integrations are very popular. Let's close this front end here and go back into our builder. Where am I? Why is this on my home page? For some reason, I'll go to the contact page. It's about, I selected about. And here we are, and what we want to do this time is to set up the mailer integration. That is also a pro feature. Select send a message, go to the integration, and then next to email, where we just set that up, select apps. Here are all the integrations, and the most popular one is MailChimp. There's other few. I like MailerLite. It's up to you. And there are also other ways you can go about using ones that are not listed here that you can still send emails to them, especially if you understand a little bit about webhooks. But let's just focus on what's going on here. If I am using MailJet and I select MailJet, it's going to ask me things that MailJet will give me. It's going to ask me an API key and a secret key. If you don't know what these are just keys. It's like passwords that you need. You will get this on the various platforms. I'll cancel this. So depending whether you are using MailChimp, Sendinblue, Zapier, ActiveCampaign, and what you are collecting, you will get different requests. If I click on MailerLite, you will see it just asks for an API key. And if I go to MailChimp, you're going to also just get that API key. For this, you go to their websites, and they make it very clear how to set it up and how to generate those API keys that you can add it here. Once you've added it, what will happen is that when Cassandra now comes to your website, she fills it in. It will go into the dashboard, it will go to your email, and it will also go into that mailer distribution list with whichever client you are using. With that under the knee, let's look at where you collect these leads just as a refresher in the next video. We set this up and Cassandra had sent us a message 2 chapters ago. You can access that within Brizy dashboard and then also export it to Excel or any CSV platform. To do that, you need to exit your builder. So in the bottom left corner, click on More and then select Go to Dashboard. From our dashboard, here is our project, 3 dots at the top, and then here are the leads. Leads are all those messages that you have received from people who have completed the form on your website. Select leads, and there you go. We only have one. We have Cassandra, we have her email, and what you can do is select it, click on Export, and then you can choose between Excel or .csv. If you don't want this lead here anymore, select it, select delete, and OK, and bazinga, it is gone. This brings us to the end of how to work and collect leads. Let's go back into our project. We select Edit Project, and then have a look at how the mega menu works if you want to add a little bit of spice and pizzazz and a lot of extra to your menu in your header. Any menu link, like here we have Home, Services and Pricing, Blog, About, and Contact can be turned into a mega menu. Let's go to Services and Pricing. Select it, and then the options on the left select, and you only have this option to make it a mega menu. Select that, and this little box drops in here. Now, this box is a canvas area. It is similar to any block that you've worked with that you can bring in content. What you can do here is that you can build out other menus inside of this menu. So you can set up additional menus if you have categories, and then you can add them here so that people can click through them. You can bring in images. Anything that is here under Add Elements can go in there. So I can bring in text. I'll click, hold, and drag that in there. I can bring in an image. More importantly, I can create columns. So I can bring in that column, and then I can duplicate that, make a next one, and then drag these into those columns and set them up very nicely to whatever I need to go into this mega menu. The important part, I think, though, is the mega menu settings itself. This is this gray box. Select that, and you will see you have background. You can add an image for the background. Mostly you're going to work with overlay. So if you rather want the orange or white overlay for the mega menu, let's say we rather want it on black. It's currently a little bit transparent. That gives it a nice effect. And then you can add borders and shadows as well as a hover effect. Also have alignment here. Now what it is aligning to is the container in which the menu element is. Just hover over the menu element and you see it's within that blue column. That is the width of this menu element, the max it can go. So I'm aligning it now to the right, and then it will go to this margin here. If I go to the left, you'll see here, and then in the middle, it will take the halfway mark between the left and the right of that column. If I were to reduce the column, and I click on Home, you will see that when we go to the mega menu, Services and Pricing, it reduces as well. So keep that in mind. If you need a longer one, you must make sure that the column is also longer. From here, we also have the settings. So let's just go to the settings there, and you'll see you can put it at 100%, and that will take the width of the column, and you have offset, which will add space between the menu and the content of this one. What is this? The mega menu. Content of the mega menu. There we go. And then the height is auto, but if you want to dial in a custom one, do that so in pixels, and you have options of percentage as well, and then the spacing. Awesome. In the event where you suddenly decide that this mega menu is not what you wanted, it wasn't your desire, all you need to do is click on the item link again, Services and Pricing, all the way to the left, and deselect. There you go. Let's just leave it on, and remember to check responsiveness as well. So when you go into tablet and you click on it and you click here on Services and Pricing, you will see that the mega menu appears like this. Here you will have similar features for responsiveness that you will get in the builder itself. Any changes you made here are disconnected from the other two devices, so you can freely go around and make those changes between them, and you will see that they keep their formatting options for the different displays. Mega menus are mega cool, but remember, don't use them if you don't really have a use case for them. I can really see them for shops and also for blog news. And if you have many services with images that are very eye-catching, then create those columns here, columns within columns. You can bring in a row if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we can bring in the row. Yes, the row works very nicely. And then you can just go ahead and stack them nicely on this with your different services, your image, and then a call to action for each one. And then you create it that way so that when people come, they can select which page they want to interact with. And remember, this can also become a pop-up or even a file that they can download right from within the menu. Let's deactivate this one for now. And then in the next chapter, we are going to look at how to bring a favicon onto your page. What is a favicon? Let's have a look at that in this chapter. I'll save my work, Control S, Command S, and I will preview it. Control Shift P, Command Shift P, and then look up here in the browser. Once this opens on the front end here in the browser tab at the top, it will give me the name of the page, which is home, as well as my domain, that kiwi178619794.brizy.site. In a later chapter, we're going to talk about how you can change that and bring in your custom domain. But what we want to do is change out that image there. We don't want the Brizy one to appear. And trust me, so many people make this mistake. Whichever platform they use, they forget this one. And I would say once a week, I go onto a shop page, well, mostly local pages, and I'll find that somebody left the WordPress logo or they left another platform's logo up there. So remember, make work of this one. Don't always say, I'll come back to it. In the end, don't want to do it now. Try and do it at the very beginning so you can set and forget. Let's go into the builder, and to change that, we go into the project settings. Go to the dashboard in the top left corner, and at the bottom, select project settings. And under the first one, you're going to get the option for the favicon. Fav icon. Select. I'll grab this one. And that's usually PNG, make it small, click on Save Changes, General Updated. Let's go to the front end, refresh. And by hook or by crook, where is my apple? Where is my apple? Huh? It did. And wow, that is a really small apple. Well, in the world of Snow White, everything is changing. Nothing is as it seems like before. So let's leave that. I know that's an apple. It's really, really tiny. And that's how you change out the favicon. Have a look though, there's one more thing they call the web clip, and this is for iPhones. Let's see here. This icon shows up when your website link is saved to an iPhone home screen. So I guess you can just upload the same favicon if you don't have anything. This favicon will also display in that. These other guys, we'll talk about that later. For the next chapter, talk about SEO. Before we jump into SEO and social sharing, let's have a look at what you can expect when you open the dashboard for your website. Often I will talk about a project. That is the terminology that is used in Brizy. And project is just the website that you have created. And the dashboard for that specific website, that project, is accessed here in the top left corner with this hamburger menu that says CMS. CMS stands for Content Management System. That is the big word for where you manage everything for a website. We click on that, you see we have the sidebar, and then we have an area here with more information. It opens usually by default to pages. These are the pages that we created with the one-click installation. Below that, by default, Brizy will give you posts, a blogging feature, which we will look at later. Then stories, which is Instagram style stories, great for mobile interaction. Pop-ups and alerts that we've looked at, and then users where you can have membership roles. And then you have this create custom assets. Next to the assets is a menus area where we create menus, and currently we have this menu that we've imported, and we will do a manual one later in this course. At the very bottom, note that you still have project settings, and this is where you go into your specific project, like the favicon, and we will look at the SEO, the sharing, system pages, and all of these at the very top. Now that we've done that, let's have a look at the SEO. Welcome back to our course for multi-pages within Brizy Cloud, and we're talking about SEO. This is your project SEO, which is your website, your general website. And you access that by going to the Content Management System dashboard and select Project Settings in the bottom left corner. And then up here, the second tab says SEO, and select that. What you have here is your site title. This is your business name in most cases. So I will say Healthy Dietitian. That's right. We are dietitians, right? I'm not even sure that's how you spell it. Let me go check with the T. Okay. Learn something every day. Dietitian. There we go. Note, as I'm typing in the site title, it also updates the search results preview. SEO is very important for Google Chrome and for Bing and all the other people out there searching. They want to know more about your website. This is where you tell them about your website. Well, actually over here, site description is where you tell them we provide healthy advice, etc., etc. And that's all I'm going to say. And then there is an option. If you don't want a search engine to find you, if this is maybe something really private that you are just sharing and you don't want it to be indexed by Google or by Bing, then you deactivate this one. But if you're making a business and you want it to be like yellow pages and people to find you, definitely leave this one on. I would say 99% of the time you're going to leave this one on. While I'm thinking of it, there are use cases where you will deactivate it. Again, maybe you are making something just for yourself. You don't want people to find it at this moment. You can deactivate it. This is your SEO part. Learn a little bit about keywords and what kind of words you should add here. You shouldn't just randomly type things here. You should really use powerful words. I use the word powerful because that's what most articles will say. Power, action, words that make a positive impact. For some reason, these machines love finding these power words. They just gobble them up. And write something smart here. With ChatGPT, with Bard, and all the others coming onto the market, they make it a breeze to write these descriptions. Write something about your site and then say, write this in terms for a SEO, and they will give you something. Most of the time, they're going to write you something really, really long, but check down here. A recommended length is 150 to 160 characters. That is super short. So remember, that's just like a very short sentence about your business. Save changes, and you're done with the SEO. Often combined with this is the social part, but we'll do that in the next chapter. So in the previous chapter, we looked at the SEO, but very closely related to that is the social platform, social media, which plays a big role also in your SEO somehow. Let's go to that, and that's right next to SEO, called sharing. You have an option here that if you want to add a title the same as your SEO, you just click this one on, and the same for the description, you just click it on. Many cases here, you want to elaborate a little bit more and you want something catchy. So what you'll do here is perhaps deactivate it, and you'll say like Jenna's amazing diet advice. And then under the description, you will give a little bit more about Jenna has been in this industry providing diet advice to superstars for decades. Now you can get it too. And then important is an image thumbnail. This is the image that will be displayed if people take your website's link, your domain, and they share it on platforms like Facebook. If you don't have something here, Facebook may just randomly grab any image from your site, and that's not always what you want. So I recommend that you get something here. I think the resolution for this is 1200 pixels at 930 minimum. You will be fine if you upload an HD. Grab some random image. I made this one, social share. And that's basically it. And here you have a preview of how this will look if somebody will post it on their Facebook. And this looks pretty nice. Image is powerful and you can clearly see its health. There is lettuce and there is tomatoes, favorite rabbit food. And then there's Jenna's amazing diet advice, and then a short little description. This would be good enough to get people to click on it when they see it on Facebook. Remember to click on Save Changes when you are done. Now we have done this, but what we've done here is for our entire project. What you have to take into consideration that you can also do this on a page-by-page basis, which again, I highly recommend. Let's have a look at that in the next chapter. In the previous chapters, we looked at SEO for the project, which is your website, and we also looked at the sharing, the social sharing for your entire website. But I mentioned that this can be done on a page-by-page basis. Let's click on our pages, and then any of these. Let's just go to the home page, click on the actual name home, and this will open up the settings. At the top, you see translate, SEO, social, and code. Let's focus only on the SEO and select that. Here you will see that things are set to optional. If you don't add anything here and people share this page, it will take the project settings. But many cases you want to bring in something specific just for this page. And then you will add Jenna's diet. And then add another description here, get the best diet advice in the valley. It could be that you want to make it different so that when search engines come to your website, they will index every page very clearly. Then when people search for it, they will get those specific results. Could be, I say. And then you have again the search engine visibility. For the home page, I would say you probably want to keep the project settings. That's why it's optional. But for other pages, maybe like the services or projects or pricing, you may want to add something different here. As always, remember when you're done to click on Update. So how about the sharing of this page? And here I think very important that you come and do it for each page. Let's do that in the next chapter. Hello, are you still hanging in there? Welcome back to our Brizy Cloud multi-page tutorial here at the Brizy Academy. You will pass with flying colors, or I will help you pass. My name is JP, and let's continue on our journey to making these multi-pages and learn more about Brizy Cloud Pro. Previous one, we looked at the SEO for a specific page, and you also have social sharing for specific pages. Whereas with the SEO, you may just consider using the project settings. When it comes to social sharing, I would say you go to each page. We selected the home page earlier. I'll just click here back on the arrow so you can see. Here's home page, and then select the actual title of the page, home. And then in the tab at the top, select social. Again, this is very similar to the project, but now you have full control for this specific page. The home page is the one that you will probably not touch. This is the one that will take the information from the project settings. So if we go back, let's go and grab something like the About page and click on About, and then go to Social, and then Social Sharing Title, Learn about Jenna's Super Diet. And then add a description here. Jenna made diets for Thor and Wally, if they can find Wally. And you can see over here, it updates here, and then let's add the same picture. And what's going to happen, depending on a different picture you've added here, when somebody shares this specific page, not just your domain, this specific page with this /about, it will show this instead of your project settings. For your pages, I recommend that you do them so that you can have a little bit of variety if people share different pages online, or if you do so yourself. From here, you'll go through all of these pages, set that up, except I would say probably not the home page. But if you want that to be a little bit different, go ahead and set it up for home page as well. We have imported this site with a one-click cloning super installation, very easy. And then later in this course, we're going to do it manually so you can understand how to create multiple pages and how to set up menus. I will remind you, because it's one of those things that everyone tends to forget. It doesn't matter which video I watch online. I'm not sure if people deliberately avoid it, but I think most of the time we just conveniently forget it. And that's that you need to go and have a look at how your website is going to display on a tablet and mobile device. That is just so standard because the majority of interaction nowadays happen on mobile devices and it looks completely different. So you may have this fancy, smart, sophisticated website that is just amazing when you are looking at it on a desktop like this. But the moment you go into tablet, it's like so boring or it looks really bad. To do that, a reminder, you go to the sidebar on the left where you see this monitor icon selected and you can go to tablet and from there you can go to mobile. In most cases, when you import a starter template like we did, this should look good. But remember, at the very beginning, we changed colors, we changed fonts. And because fonts have different sizes, it may move things around. So it's important that even though you've used the starter template, you need to come here and have a look and make sure that it still looks good. The other reason is that this starter template may be like 7 years old. It was made way back in the archaic times, and new things and new elements and new code that has been added in the meantime may make some of these things outdated and behave a little bit crazy. So that's also another reason why you have to come in and just make sure. Never just trust anything you import. So as I go through this mobile version, I think it looks really good. I do see here is a spacer that adds too much space. And what I can do is make this spacer disappear on mobile. Select the spacer and click here on the eye, and that will remove it only for mobile devices. The great thing about responsiveness, any change I make here will not affect my tablet nor my desktop. Scroll down, that looks good. Everything is fine here. That also looks good. And yeah, I cannot find, here. You see, because of the font we use, it pushes that to the next line. So I don't want that. Go to my column, the handlebar on the right, and I'll drag it out all the way to the right until I get to 100%. Boom, it looks much, much better. Those are the kind of things you need to do. And once you've done that, share the link with yourself, go onto your mobile device and see how it looks there. And the reason you want to do that is because the actual width that we see here for this display, your device may be a little bit narrower. So it may even look a little bit weirder on that. And remember, we added the mega menu at the beginning, but I think we also removed it. So it's important that when you go into that, we removed it for services and pricing to also come and make those changes. Same for tablet. I skipped tablet, but same thing is going to apply here. I don't expect we're going to have major problems here. Let me just see that bottom one again. Looks good. And this you need to do as you work through it, depending on your workflow. What I usually do is I will create one block and then I will also do the mobile versions of that. Sometimes I'll forget and then I'll just do the whole page. But it is so important that you come back and check again. Now that we have set up this page, this website, you've set up this website, you've changed everything, you've added pop-ups, you've added mailer integration, you've made this absolutely your website. So let's exit the builder. Let's go back to the dashboard and see what we can do there with this project that we've created. Let me just quickly go to this one we have open and close it. And then we exit, go to the bottom left corner, more, and go to dashboard. And it says leave site, changes you made may not be saved. Cancel, let's save first. Update, Control S, Command S. And we send a note to Brizy. Thank you for reminding us. And then we go down to go to dashboard and we go to the dashboard of our account. Welcome back. We are going to talk about workspaces. If you have a pro account, it's quite possible that you have more than one workspace. I see a workspace as a folder or a division to a client if you are working with clients. So many people are making websites for clients and they want to group them so it's easy to manage. I don't really work with clients, so what I do is I just group them into the way I want to work with them and easy find them. You can see I have tutorials, I have a few other things going on here. If I go here to my tutorials Brizy, then it will load the projects from that one. And if I go to speed build, which I think only has 2, yep, there we have 2. And depending on the package that you've signed up for, you can create many or you can create only a few workspaces here. The workspaces comes into play, especially when you are assigning team members to that. To create a new workspace, you go here to the bottom, select create new workspace, and we'll call this Brizy Cloud MP for multi-page. And I'll click on my plus. And once I did that, it will open that workspace for me, but you can see that we have no projects here at the moment. So let's bring in that one in the next chapter. In this chapter, we're going to look at how you move any project or any website between different workspaces. Let's go back to my personal projects, which is the default, and then go to the dietitian demo, select the 3 dots, and then we select move. From the drop-down list, I select Brizy Cloud MultiPage MP and click on move, and it should open the Brizy Cloud MultiPage for me, and there you go. It didn't duplicate it, it only moved it. So if I go back to my personal projects, you will see it no longer exists in this realm. It has been moved to the Brizy Cloud MP. But what if you had wanted to make a duplication? You wanted to keep one in your personal projects and you wanted one in the Brizy Cloud MP. So let's move it back so I can show you how to do that. I'm going to move it again. And I'll put it in my personal projects, move, and then in my personal projects, instead of selecting move, I'll select duplicate, and it will duplicate it for me and give it a new name, project 12. So let's call this dietitian tutorial 2023. And then once you've done that, I can go ahead, click on move, and this one I will move to Brizy Cloud MP. The one great thing about workspaces is that you can add team members to each workspace that have access to all the documents in there. And this works on a workspace by workspace basis. So if you've created a specific workspace for a big client of yours and they want access so that they can also see how their pages look, you create the workspace. And once you've done that, like I'll go here to this one called landing page demos, then up here you select team members. I'm already here. All I need to do, add the email address of the person I want to be part of this team and assign a role. There are 4 roles. A manager can do basically everything. They can create projects, they can build pages. The only thing they cannot do is delete your account. The account is still yours. The manager has full access to the account, but you are still the CEO of your own account. A designer cannot create projects, but they can go into a project and they can design new pages, create new pages, everything inside a project, but they cannot create projects. An editor can change text, they can change images, but they cannot create pages. They cannot design pages. And a viewer has the lonely task of only looking at the page. There's nothing else they can do. So put the email address here, assign the role, send it to them, and from there they will have access to this dashboard or to the projects you've assigned them. A quick review in this chapter. Let's go back to where my personal projects are so you can see I have a number of projects here. First of all, what happens here? Whenever you create a new project, which is a website, they populate in the area in the workspace that you've created them. But you are not restricted only to websites. If you click on Create New Project, you will note that you can also create external pop-ups here, which we don't cover in this course, as well as stories. We also don't cover it here. But these pop-ups are essentially exactly the same as the ones we did within our dietitian demo. The difference is here they will populate within this dashboard and they are not connected to a specific project or website. When you do create any of them, they will appear here. I'll just show you quickly. Create a new pop-up and you will see it has a little different gradient to distinguish it from the others. Why I don't see a color there. Call this pop-up 1. And let's just reload this page so I can see. Yeah, there we go. And the same is going to happen for the story. I create the story and then we call that story 1 and also refresh the page and you see they look different. So if you've got like hundreds, thousands of stuff here in this workspace and you need to filter it, use the filters that you have here at the top. You have websites, pop-ups and stories. And all projects, you can also use this drop-down filter under the most recent, which are these 3, or you can add them to an alphabetical way or the date created. And I would say I'll go back to most recent. The last one is you can search. So if you know the name of it, for example, I have one called Architect. I can type in that and click enter and it will search and give me that project. There you go. If you go back here and let's go to our dietitian demo, but I'll jump into the new workspace I've created, Brizy Cloud MP. At the 3 dots at the top, review, we have publish. We'll do that in the next chapter. We did move, we did duplicate, we have lead. Then you have collaborate. Collaborate is another way that you can share your website with somebody else and can give you feedback, little comments on it. They cannot actually make any changes on it, but they can give you comments. And we're not covering that in this course. Let me just check my notes. No, we're not covering that in this course, but you can also check out the YouTube channel. We have a lot on collaboration there as well. And then finally, delete. So if you decide that you want to delete this beast, you click on delete and it will ask you, do you want to delete it? Now make sure you do that in caps, DELETE, and click on OK. Hey, we do have a copy, right? And now it is deleted. And with this, we can also delete this workspace. To do that, go to our drop down and next to it, click on delete. You see, you can also edit it. And a workspace can only be deleted if every project in it has first been deleted. So there's no accidental deletion of a workspace if you still have projects in it. That's a nice little safeguard there. Thank you who thought of that. Let's look next at how you publish your own domain. And then after that, we are going to do those manual creation of pages so you get to know how to do them as well. Hi, welcome back. My name is JP. This is the Brizy Multipage course 2023. Yes. And let's talk about publishing. So what do we mean by publishing of your project? So this is the dietitian demo that we are working with. Under the name dietitian demo, you will see we have this domain URL. Let's select this and talk about what is going on here. Go to subdomain. Select choose, and you will see that you have this Kiwi 1786179.4.brizy.site. When you sign up for a Brizy Cloud, you can get unlimited.brizy.site. Well, that extension that we see here, unlimited. So you can make as many as you have time for and energy for. The thing is, you just cannot change them to a URL. For example, jpswebsite.com. You cannot do that. Well, you can, but not in this case as I'm showing you here. This still gives you a lot of power in that you can change the subdomain name extension before the time. So I will call this let me just take that away, dietitian-demo, and I will submit. And once I click on submit, if this name hasn't been taken, I will get a green success bar at the top. If someone has already taken it, it will say, give me a red one, and you have to choose another one. So I'll click on submit. I get green for done. And now here you will see the URL has updated. If I click on the preview little icon there, and it opens a new tab in the browser, you will see that the URL in the address bar has updated. dietitian-demo.brizy.site. Why would you want to do this? Well, maybe you really just have something small that you just want to share with people. You don't care about the .brizy.site. Then this is a great way. I often do this when I share stuff with people. And this is also a nice way if you are making websites for others. Then you can first use this, show them the product, and once they are happy, you bring in their domain. Now, how do you bring in that domain, which we refer to as a custom domain? I'll show you where. Let's close this, go to Dietitian Demo, and again click on the URL. And there you see we have custom domain. For a short while, it showed their upgrade. This will highly depend on the package you have bought. Now, my package is a legacy package, so you don't see upgrade or downgrade those options. But if you recently got into Brizy Cloud, you will see upgrade or downgrade. Depending on what you signed up for, you may be limited to only one custom domain or 3 custom domains or more. And where you will bring in those custom domains are over here. So click choose, then you add the address name that you want to add here. And from there, you bring in all the details that is necessary to set up that domain. That information you will get from the site that you are working on. And if you're not sure how to do this, go check it out on YouTube. We have a video for bringing in your custom domain within Brizy Cloud, and then you can bring in your own domain here, and you don't need to use the brizy.site. This brings us to the end of this part of the tutorial, where we're only looking at this one-click installation and working with a few pro features. In the next part, we are going to create a new project again, but this time we will do a few things by ourselves. We will create system pages like a coming soon page, and we will create pages and also look at things like saved blocks, menus, headers, responsiveness, global blocks, block manager, sticky headers, footers, and then later we'll cover also stories. All of that still up and coming. Go get yourself another cup of coffee or tea or a glass of water, and then rock and roll forward. Welcome to part 2, and what is different in part 2 is that we're going to look at how to make certain things from scratch. Now, how to build and work with the builder, all of that we did cover in the first course, the starter course for Brizy Cloud. In part 1, we looked at how to import or clone an entire website ready-made, but how were those pages created? How was the header created? Where did the global header and the global footer come from? So we're going to break it down in part 2. I'm going to keep it very rudimentary. We're not going to build out a website per se. We're going to make some pages, add a few things at the top, at the bottom, all over the place, and get to know how these individual parts of the builder and also of the project work. So let's just create a new project in this chapter. I'll go exit this one. And I think we're done with this one. So if you want to go ahead and delete it, it's up to you. You go ahead and click on delete and then in all caps type delete. My worry is that usually after I've deleted something, I come back and I realize, oh, I quickly want to show you something else and then I've already deleted it. So let's not do that. Or rather, I won't do that. Create a new project. And this is how we create new one. Simple. And I showed you earlier, you can choose between these three. We have website or landing page, which is exactly the same thing. And then you can create a pop-up or you can create story. And in this course, we will look at stories in part 3. So let's go ahead and click on create. It's going to create a new one and it's going to give it a project name, depending on how many projects you've got. I've got 12 in this folder, so it's going to call it project number 12. So let's call this one part 2. Now let's give it a better name. Brizy Cloud MULTIPAGE / part 2 - part 2. And that's it. Now you see that you have the option here to click on publish and you can go ahead and change the publish here if you needed to change the subdomain or bring in a custom domain. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and publish it once we go into the builder. Let's go edit it and then we go into the builder. And what we'll do in the next chapter is to do a quick build so you can have a review of that. And we'll be doing that with the maintenance pages. Welcome back. System pages. That's the right word. That includes maintenance pages. But what are system pages? I'm in the builder to go into the project dashboard or the website dashboard. We go to the top left corner. Here where you see the hamburger, CMS, select that. And then from here, we hop on over to the bottom left, project settings. And then you will see we have these tabs at the top. Hover over them. First one is SEO. We know that. Then we have sharing and then system pages. System pages, select that. And we have 5 here. Now, in most cases, you're only going to work with these 2. And you can set up this one, page not found. This is a very common thing that you've probably encountered in your own life when you've gone to a website to see 404 not found. That's when a page was created, someone gets a link for it, but in the meantime, that page had been deleted. And now when they get there, that page is gone. Then it gives this 404 error. And you can set it up here. And what I'm going to show you with the coming soon is going to be the same for these 3 as well. We only focus on this. Now, the idea behind the system page, the coming soon page is that while you are creating your website, you don't want people to come and look at it. You want people to know that the website is on the way. And that's what you're going to do here. If you already have a website and you need to do some maintenance, you'll do it with this one by enabling the maintenance one. But seeing that this is a brand new website, we're going to go ahead and say coming soon. Now, when we type in the address, this page will appear to visitors. But exactly which page? And this page is called the coming soon page. So what you need to do is go all the way to the right and click on edit page. This takes us into the builder that you've come to know and love so well. Nothing special here, but let's do this quick recap of how to build. We have a nice little animation here with this already set up, and it's your decision whether you want to keep it as is or if you want to build out your own coming soon page. Let's go ahead and completely create it from scratch. I'll go to the top right corner, click on the block and delete, and you see we have the standard builder. You can add many blocks here, not only one, so I'll go ahead and create one block. For most cases, when you create a coming soon page, you just need the one block, but what you want is for it to fill the whole screen. We go to the block settings in the top right corner, configuration, and then where you see height, select the drop down and set it to full height. Now it will always fill the screen top to bottom, left to right. You can change the background. Let's change it. Let's put it on this dark color. We bring in text and we drop that in there, select it and say big things coming soon. Then we can change the color, go for this green, make it spectacular. And I'll super increase that. Put it in the middle. Let's just go back there, put it on a bigger weight, bold. Let's make it even bigger. And then from here, we just bring in a countdown to say when this page will be ready. Big things coming soon. And countdown we'll get here under content. Countdown, click, hold and drag, drop it. And there we go. Select it, go to the countdown settings. And you have styles here that you can choose. I'll go with the standard one and then the date. This works with days, month, and year. So let's say this is November 14th. And then I'll make that one 11. And you can even add the hour and time and the time zone. And under advanced, you can decide if you want to remove any of these. So if you don't want the seconds, or if it's less than days, if it's only hours, you remove the days, but that won't make any sense here. You need to keep the days. Styling is going to be important here. So let's go to the colors, switch it up, and that is for the numbers. You see here above the color selector. You make these choices, start with the number, then the title. I'll put it on the same color. That's where we're going to keep it. I'll go to typography, also increase the size. This again is of the number. And let's reduce the space. To do that, I'll click on it, grab the handlebars and drag them in. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do here. Update. But if you have a mailer list and you want people to subscribe to keep them notified of things that are happening, this is a great place to bring in the form or bring in a call to action button and have people already engage with you, maybe leave your email address or put up a form, of course, so that they can reach out to you. Before we exit here, I'll just save again. Let's go and look at tablet, right? We reduce this size down to, 58. This one I'm going to increase and make that bigger. Okay, so let's just reduce it a little bit again, the spacing. And then we go for mobile, which is going to give us quite a number of problems with the size we've set it to. Shall we go for 2 lines? We shall. And then this one, I'll have to drag it out. And I'll go to T for typography for the number. Here I'm going to go for normal. And I'll put it on 40. And for the hours, I'm going to put that on light. What am I doing? This is, there. Okay, let's put it back on normal. Title, select title here, and I'll put that on light. That looks better. It's a little bit dark for me, but that's kind of what we're trying to achieve here. Just make sure it's nice and big. That's our mobile view. So let's save it, Control Command S, and then preview, Control Shift P, Command Shift P, and this will show us how this will look to a visitor when they come to our site, and it says coming soon. You can see currently up here, our domain, which is the .brizy.site extension, is cherry 183028000. In case you wonder where this comes from, this is randomly generated every time you create one of these sites. It's a fruit plus a random number. Of course, you can go ahead and change it out, but just to let you know where it comes from. Let's close it, and that is the system page. If I go back to the CMS, you can go ahead to the pages, and if you go to your system pages, you need to make any changes, you simply click on edit. Up next, we will create the pages to see how you actually add multiple pages and manage them within Brizy Cloud. Adding pages, very simple. We go into the content management system, select pages, and currently we have just one page. Every time you create a new project, it will automatically create a home page for you, and it's unpublished. A little bit about the settings here. If you select and click on home, it will give you all the settings of this page. The content, the name, the slug, description, translate option, SEO, social, as well as for those people who want to inject code. If I go back to content, you will also note that up here, you can choose between draft and published. Published means that this page is available for the public to view. Draft means it's offline. Only you can see it, no one else can see it. I mostly just go directly for published, but if you are working on something that you really don't want to be found accidentally, make sure you keep it in draft, and there it will tell us it is now published. Once you do that, remember to click on update. You have settings here at the bottom as well. The edit, this allows you to go into the page and edit it. Duplicate, if you want to make more of this page, copies of it and use it again. Very useful in blogging. Preview, we know preview, and if you want to delete the page. To go back to all the pages, click here on the arrow, or you can click again just on pages. So if I select home, click on the arrow, and I go back. That is what happens everything here under the name. You also have the preview that pops up here. Under link, you have the slug. And again, if you click here, you have a preview for the home page, which is currently empty. So many places to go and preview it. And then the actions over here gives you the edit. This is where you go into the page to build it out. Duplicate, another duplicate, and another delete. Now let's add our pages, and we do that by clicking on Add New Page. This one, under page title, I'm going to call About. Once you've typed it in, it's going to give you a slug based on the title. If you want a different slug here, you can go ahead and type in the slug that you need. The description here can be used for your SEO purposes. Add that here. And then draft, I'll already put it on published. But if you want to keep it in draft, no problem. You can change it to publish as you are building out the page. The moment I click Save Changes, all those options for translate, SEO, social, code, this edit, duplicate, preview, all of them will appear here. Now we've created the page, but we haven't built anything yet on it. We're not even editing it yet. We've only created it. Click back here on the arrow and you will see we have these two pages. Next page, I'm going to call Services. It's a dentist page that I'm creating. Services, put it in published for Allegra. Yeah, I've decided to give it a funky name, Allegra. And the next one will be packages for people who want to sign up for dental care packages. If there's one thing that I'm more scared of than flying, and that is the dentist. Packages, let's put it on published and save changes. And then the last one, that form that we all need, and that will be our Contact Us form. I'll call this page Contact Us. There you see, nice. And that's how you do a slug with more than one word. Always use a hyphen in between. And we put it on published. Save the changes and click on back. These are the 5 pages. Every time you want to build out a page, remember you need to come here and click on edit. I'll go to home page, select edit, and this will open the Brizy builder and it'll take us to the home page where we can build it. If I'm done here, I'm just showing you quickly, you go again to the dashboard of the CMS, pages, and let's say the next one is about, then you click again on edit, and this will open the about page, and you can edit here. We are going to work with the home page in the next chapter, so I'll go back to home and click on edit. We'll build out a page title block that we're going to be using on all of the pages, and then we'll make it a saved block, and I'll show you later on how to bring in the header with a global block. Time to have a review of what you've learned in terms of the Brizy Builder. It's almost impossible for me to cover everything in the Brizy Builder. There is so much, but what you can do is go to the YouTube channel, go to our website at brizy.io, have a look through the documents. You'll find everything you need there. And if you're unsure, go to the Facebook community, look up for support. There's always somebody available and ready to help you. We'll build out a page title section, which is very common. It's a little section at the top with a big image and then just the title of that page. We are currently on the home page, so we won't call it home. We'll call it the name of our business, which is Allegra, Allegra's Dentistry. I think that's the right word, dentistry. Let's click here on start building your page, and you can bring in one of these pre-made blocks, but I want to show you how to do it. So we click here on create your own. The first thing I'll do is bring in the background image. Go to the block settings in the top right corner, and then second from the left, we have background. Here is where you upload the image. And then from my finder, let me see, where's our images? Here we go. Hero, Dentist, Allegra. I'll bring in the image. And as it uploads, I have this blue dot to make sure that I can make sure that certain parts of it is always the focus point of the image. And remember, when you have people in the image, we want to see their eyes. It's very weird to have this kind of image. So we put it on this lady's eyes. This was moments before she started crying. And then for the next part, we'll apply a little bit of an overlay, because as we add text, it's going to get lost in the back. So I'll click on colors, and this is the standard colors that come here. Let's stick with it. You know how to change it out, but I'm going to just stick with it, and I'll go for this white here all the way to the right. Then grab the opacity slider and drag it down to, let's say, 70. You see there's 70% showing for us on that side. I wish I could just click, hold, and type it in there. 70%, and now we need to bring in the page title. To do that, click on the plus, text, click, hold, and drag, and drop it. And we said this is Allegra's Dentist Solution. Dental Solution. The only reason I'm going for this name is I'm not sure how to spell dentistry at this moment. Now, important tip. Whenever you are creating a page title, this is what we refer to as a H1 heading. That is the name of your page, and you want it to be indexed as such. So what you need to do in this case is go to typography and make sure that the typography is set to heading 1. Once you put it on heading 1, and you go over here to the settings, you will see that the HTML tag is H1, and that's what you've got. You use this only once on your page, and you use it for the page name. So if you use the page name like we are doing here as the page title, great way to do it. I'll center align it and then change the color to dark one. But I don't like currently the size of it. Maybe I don't even like the font, and we do that within the presets for the global styling. Go to the sidebar on the left, click the paintbrush, and then we look here for heading 1. Let's change the font first. And Dental Solution. I'm not sure that's going to work. Comforta, we want people to feel relaxed. So Comforta. Put it on bold. Bold is fine. I don't think there's anything higher than bold for Comforta. And then I'll increase the size to around 70. And the line height I'll put on 1. But I think I'll click on it and just put it on all caps, uppercase. You see this little TT? There we go. Now I'll go back to our global styling, heading 1. And let's look at the letter spacing. I'll remove that. Oh, I reduced that to -2. Maybe bold is a little bit too bold. Okay, I'll put it on semi-bold, slight change, but just enough for me. That's it. Let's add space at the top and the bottom. I'll add some space here. Let's put that on 130 pixels at the top, and we do the same for the bottom. And now I have my page title. If you want to add anything here, we can add a little bit more text here. I'll grab that. Feel confident today. Ooh, feel confident today. I'll center align it, and then I'll also put it on dark. But what I do now again, I go to T for typography, and I'll call this a subtitle. Remember what you put it on here, and then we come to our global styling subtitle. We put it on what? Now I've Comforta. There, feel confident today. That's pretty nice, but let's make it bigger. I'll put it around 26. And there we go. I'll probably go back to the overlay and bring this up. A big mistake that many people make is to make the overlay too light. Then you don't have enough of that contrast, and it becomes really difficult to read that stuff. But here we go. Now at this moment, it doesn't look like much because we don't have a header, we don't have content, but this kind of layout that we have currently here. So let me see, where is my painter? My block over here. This is now my page title, and I have it here at the top. Change this color. Don't like that. Okay, there we go. Let's do it again. Here's my color. And I want to repeat this on each and every page. Well, not this image and not this text, but I want to keep this on each and every page the same layout. And with this, I create consistency. And that we're going to do as a saved block. So let's look at saved block in the next video. Saving is super easy. I'll just delete this and exit. And what I want to do is save this block design so I can reuse it on other pages. And to save any design, you go to the block, settings, and you click on the heart, like it so much, save it forever and ever, and now you've saved it. And to get it again, you go to add a new block, and then from the tabs at the top, select saved, and then it will appear here. Now you can see there's a number of blocks here because in this workspace, I have created so many wireframes that I use a lot, and they are available here. So quite a number. And at the very bottom, there you see Allegra's dental solution. You can make some tags. You can give it some tags, which will help you sort it in the future easier. I don't need to give it a title, but I'll go here to this filter and I'll click on add new, and I'll click in add new, and I'll call this dentist. So I know that this is related to my dentist site, and I'll click on the plus. Now in the future, if I come here and I want to find this one very easily, which we'll be doing very soon, you go to filter by tag, select the drop down, and you see here is dentist, and then only those that have been tagged as dentist will appear. This makes it so much easier to find the stuff that you're going to reuse for this one. So make a little bit of effort because as you can see, if I put it on all, I've got 89 blocks here and they grow all the time. This can get really, really overwhelming if you're trying to find that one that looks just a little bit different than the rest. This is where you find your saved blocks. Let's close here. And what we do now, first save our page, Control S, Command S, and we go back to our content management system. Up here, pages, and the next one I click on is About. And from About, I'm going to use that saved block now. Start building your page, saved. And then what I'll do is filter dentist, select it, change the image out first, go to the settings, delete this one, and then find my dentist, about, there we go. And change the text, about us, pride guaranteed. Okay. And now I have this. Let's just look at that focal point quickly. I'll put the focal point halfway between their eyes to make sure, oh, well, his eyes, her smile. That's good. Update. And we do the same for the other pages. Go to the content management system. Next will be our services. And I'll do this, each of them, so you can see how it works, because this is how you'll probably do it as well. Saved block, dentist. And the important thing about the saved block is that as I make changes to this one by bringing in an image, I'm not making any changes to the other ones. So they will still be who they are, like an about page, but this one here will be the services page. A list of improvements. Let me just again go and check the focal point. We have this guy with the mask. I think we need to keep him. There we go. That looks better. Looks like some character from DC Universe. Update. And this is our services page. Then next we go to packages. Click on edit for the packages page. One more time. Second last time. Services, filter by tag, dentist. Click on our block. And this one is called packages. Something for everyone. Change the image out. And there's packages. Let's look at the focal point. problem with all these beautiful looking people is that I start to think I'm also okay looking. And then update this page and we do the last page. Let's go to our content management system and contact us. Click on that, edit, leave. So I didn't save the page. When you see that, it's a warning that you didn't save and lock the changes in. Go and do that first. Go back to pages, contact us, and click on edit. Now it's spinning there. Let me just edit packages. And then we go back. Sorry, that is my boo-boo. And we click on contact us. And this is the last one. Bring it in, save. Let's filter it, dentist. Click on that one. And this is contact us. We value your input. Or make an appointment today. Change out the image. My voice is starting to go. Contact us. Perfect. I like that. Let's see if we can put that focal selector. Okay. And there we go. Let's update the page. And to show you that we didn't make any changes to the other pages, let's go into the CMS and I'll start at home. I'll click here on the preview. It opens the home page for us and we can see that. Nice. And then we can go to our about page, click on preview. And you can do the rest. Let's do it. Services. Just to make sure that I didn't screw it up. What you can also consider is to build out one page and then you just duplicate that page. There are so many options in achieving the same thing. I always, when I do something, people say, I do it like this, I do it like that. And yeah, sometimes people do it in 5 steps shorter than I did, much quicker. But you know, once you get into your own groove, there are maybe shortcuts, but if you don't feel comfortable with them, stick to what you know. And all done nicely. The problem that we have now is that there's no way for us to move between these pages, no way to navigate. So we need to create a menu and then we need to bring in a header. We need to make that header a global block so we can create those navigation options. The first thing I think we'll do is create the menu next. Welcome back to our Brizy Cloud multi-page tutorial, and we are working with multi-pages. We've created multi-pages. Now let's go and put them in a menu. I'll leave these pages open so we can refresh them and you can value your work as it is progressing. Let's go back into the builder though, and then as you open the CMS, you will see that you have the assets and next to the assets, you have menus. The first thing you need to do is to create a menu. There isn't a menu by default. You need to create one. Select the drop down and type in a name here. I'll call it main menu. And then you click on the plus. Otherwise, you don't have that menu. Next, make sure you select it, main menu, and it will appear here. And then you will have menu top header with these items. The pages that you've created appear here on the left. Categories and blocks, they will appear here. Then you also have the option to create a custom link. We're just going to use the pages. I'll select them. And then we click on add to menu. Now here, we have to just arrange them in the right order. I'll click and hold home and I'll drag it up, then about, then services, and then contact us, and no, packages next. There we go. You can also see that you have this little icon here for settings. If you click on it, you can change the label if you want to, and you can also decide whether you want this page to appear as your home page, and even if you want that page to be opened in a new tab if it is clicked on. But we're very happy with this setup. You can create more than one menu. So if you're going to use different menus across your site, maybe in your footer, you want a reduced menu or something else, you go ahead and create another menu. However, we've created this menu, we've added these pages, so we need to save, click on Save Changes. With our menu now ready, we can bring in the header so we can begin with that navigation. Let's close out here, and in this chapter we're going to bring in a header. So let's go to the home page. I'll start here on home and select edit. These pages that we have here at the front are the front end pages. So you can see this is how it currently looks. And the one I have on the left is my builder. So currently the home page is open here. Now, in the previous course that we did for Starter, you also had the global block. But one of the restrictions of a global block in the free version is that you cannot assign conditions to it. And the benefit of a condition is, and you'll see very soon, is that when you tell this block, I want you to appear on page A, B, C, and D, it automatically generates and populates those pages. Whereas in the free version, you have to go to page A, add it, page B, add it, and do that each and every time. The great part about a global block is that any change you make to it on one page will sync to the other pages. They will update. So if you have this header at the top and later you want to switch out the logo, you don't need to go and change it on each and every page. You only do it in that global block, that header. So where do we get the header? Actually, the header is just a standard block. But yeah, but no, but yeah, and I'll show you quickly why. Let's add a new block because we get the headers from our block manager. And notice here on the left, under categories, second from the bottom, we have header selected, and there are 18 header pre-made blocks you can choose from. Don't be limited by this. You can create the header any way you like. It is a block. You don't only have to put it at the top. You can put it anywhere on your page, and you'll soon see what is the benefit of the header. Basically, I would say two. Let's go with this one at the very top because this is a standard kind of block that you use for a header. And you will see it drops it in here below and it has a logo. And then here you have to bring in your menu. So basically it already has columns here inside a row and it has already added a menu element. Again, you are not restricted to this. You can delete all of this and just keep the block and bring in anything from the elements that you want to add here. You can build out a massive section here if that is your liking. This is a pre-made, but the benefit of this block, if you go to the block settings all the way to the left, is that you have the option to leave it as sticky, static, or fixed. And for those people who like sticky menus, they appear as you scroll on the page. This will be a great option. That's more or less the only thing that makes this block different than the standard blocks. There's a second reason. We'll talk about that once we activate the global functioning. For now, we need to bring in that menu and we have to get it to the top of the page. Get it to the top, we go to the left, reorder blocks, grab it and drag it to the top. Voila, that's very, very easy. And then we already have the menu element here. Go to the settings of the menu element, all the way to the left and select the menu. And there we have our main menu and it drops in. Now the menu, you can style out nicely the way you would like. Let's go first back to the menu settings. I'll put it on the right like so. And settings, I don't think much I want to change here. Then we go over to the menu settings itself, make it a hamburger, no spacing. Let's see. No, I'm okay with that. Click on any of them to get to the typography. And what I'll do here is what I usually do is I create a style just for my header. To do that, we go to the global styling. At the bottom, add new, and then scroll under all the presets to the bottom. You see it says new style number 10. I'll select that and call that header. And then we have chosen Comforta. So I'll put it on Comforta. Okay, so I want to see how it updates in real time. So before I continue here, go back, select home or any of these links, go to T for typography and under typography, scroll to the bottom and select header. And you see it already switches over to Comforta. Now I'll go back to my global styling and I can quickly change it out here. I'll change it to semi-bold and the size 18, I'm going to make it bigger. Line height, I'll reduce to 1 and the letter spacing, that's fine. I think that looks good. Maybe 18. Yeah, 18 is too big. I'll put it on 16. Let's go back and click on home. Go to the colors over here. And you have the colors. Currently, it's on black. This one, if you click here, it will be the hover state, which is blue, which is too light. So I'll put it on this purple. And then the active, the page that is currently selective, let's also put that on purple. If you look here all the way to the left, this is where you have the mega menu option. We talked about that earlier. Also note that you can add an icon if you want to. Select that and let's type in their home or house. Go for a glyph. And I'll choose this one, which is standard. But usually I don't use these guys. You can create a little bit bigger there. You see the offset is a little bit off. This is up to you. Put it on the right if you want to. But I'm going to delete it. No need for me. And the settings will give you a normal padding as well as your corners. Kind of done here. But I would recommend whenever you work with the heading, make sure of your responsiveness. So let's do that. We go to tablet. You have the option. Do you want to keep it as such or you want to make it a hamburger? I often like it still like this on the tablet as a hamburger. But what I'll do is I'll go again to my styling, go to the bottom header, and I'll put it here on tablet. And just make sure, let's go for light, comforta, and then drop one down to mobile, and you see it automatically goes to a hamburger menu. I want to edit that. I want to click on it, but I cannot get to the menu element settings. To get to it, we go to the column settings and just increase the padding on the right. So we can push that element away and then we bring it back later. So click on it and it will open the drawer. You can change the color of the drawer here. If you click on the colors, background, if you want to make that purple, the text white. So you have these options. Let's access the settings. Let's see what else do we have here. The size of the hamburger, if you want to make that bigger. Also, if you want to change the color of the hamburger, make it purple. And also the drawer position over here, if you want it instead on the right, like so. I actually like that. Why do I think that feels more professional? And once you are done with all of that, you go back to the column settings and drag it back to 0. And now it will look normal again. Let's go back to desktop. Great. And this is how we've created our header. Now the problem is though, let's go ahead and save, Control S, Command S. Currently we're on the home page. So if I go to home page here and I refresh my home page, I expect this header to appear here. Would you agree, Sally? Sally's not sure, but now she sees the outcome and she suddenly starts to agree. Good job. If I go to the About page and I refresh this page, Sally, do you think it will appear here? No, it wouldn't, because we haven't added it here. And that we'll do next by assigning that global block condition. So let's just have a look quickly at the dilemma we have. We have created this header very nicely on our home page, so we can navigate from home to about to services to packages to contact. But the problem is that if I go to the front end, here it is, it looks great. I click on Contact Us. It's going to take me to the Contact Us page, but the header still doesn't appear there. So the global blocks or conditions for global blocks will allow us to assign this now to each and every page. We go into the home page. You don't need to leave this. This is where you've created it. Go to the block settings, and in this case, it is a header block, all the way to the left, and select Make it Global. We get the pop-up screen, and it says, where do you want to display this? Currently, it's set only to this page, right? So it's not including all the other pages. It is saying that this page will appear on my home screen. Now, what I want for it is to appear on all the pages. So all I need to do is go to where it says Pages, drop down, select, and put it on all. That's all I need to do. And then, well, not all. I have to click on Save as well. But let's say I only want it to appear on 2 pages. I only want it on my home page and my Contact Us page. For some reason, I don't want it on the other page, or maybe I want different menus on the other pages. So what I'll do is I'll go back to Pages, and you see you have all the others like System Pages, Post, Stories, so Pages. And then I can here select Home, then click Add New Display. And then I'll go to this one and say Contact Us. Now it will appear only on these 2. But I want it on all my pages, so I will delete, go and put it on all. But there's something you forget, is that we've actually created a coming soon page, which is a system page, and that is an all page. So this header is also going to appear on that page. And again, you don't want that. And that's where the exclude function comes in. So add new display, click on this blue, and it turns to exclude. I go to system pages, and I select coming soon. And now I say save. Lovely. Click. And I'll just click save here in the bottom again. And what I'll do is click on preview. So we have the latest here. And now when I select contact us, it will bring up the contact us page. And there's the header. I go to about, our about page. It's there. And same for services. And one thing you will note, and that is the second feature of the header block, is that this header has been automatically added to the top of all these pages. Once you assign it as a global block, the header goes to the top of the pages. Any change I make to the header now will sync across all of them. If I change, let's go to our global styling, and I change the weight to something like bold, and I make it bigger. Let's make it 18 this time. Let's change the background also a little bit. Put it on that color, E. That color, okay. No, yeah. Not too crazy about these colors, but let's update it. I preview it. And with the global block, this will be the home page. If I click on Contact Us, it's going to give us the same changes. So no need to go into each and every page and make those changes. Great. I dislike this pink a lot. So let me just go back and put it on white. Otherwise, it's going to distract me the whole time. And that is how we assign global blocks, especially very useful for headers and footers. Let's close out all these tabs that are open at the top. And in the next video, I'm going to look at the block manager and how you can quickly build out a page with those pre-made blocks. Welcome back. In this chapter, we are going to build out a page with the pre-made blocks. We've done it in the first tutorial for the starter, but let's do it quickly again so we can also have a look at how the sticky header works. Add a new block, click here in the middle. This gives us the block manager. You have two kits to choose from. Kit 1 is great for wireframes if you just want something standard, or you choose Kit 2, which is far more modern and has a lot of nice design flair here. I'm going to go to Kit 1 just to be different, and you see you have a light option and you have a dark option. You're working with teeth, so I recommend you keep everything nice and light here. Let's bring in a feature, and I'll drop in, let's bring out this one. This one is going to be groovy. And note, as I start scrolling down, we have this sticky header pops up at the top. We'll tackle that in the next chapter. But here we have our page title. Oh, well, we have a header at the top, page title, and then this nice section here. I didn't design it. I just copied it, or I just clicked on it. Wonderful. Next, we can, let's say a gallery. We want to show more people's teeth. Let's go for this grid gallery over here. And all of this ready-made. And then below that, a testimonial. Right, you want to bring people in very, very quickly. So for a homepage, testimonial, very important. And then under that, let's have a call to action. Come on, click on us, do something. We can have a video here, quick preview, maybe to show how do they do the laser cleaning. And below that, the team, all these technicians who scrub around in your mouth. And then finally at the bottom, we'll add a contact form. And that is going to be contact so that you can be easily contacted. And it updates to the global styling, which is all set over here under global styling. So you can see everything looks the way it should look. Not really, because we need to change all these fonts to Comforta to make sure, Comforta to make sure that all the headings and the paragraphs are all Comforta. Let me quickly do that so that we can just make sure Comforta. And you'll see as I go through it and I put it on Comforta, the rest will also update. And you have to go through each of them because they may have been used on a page that you're not currently viewing. And if you don't do it, you'll be nicely surprised later on. Okay, so we've created this page. And that is how you work with the pre-made blocks. More on the pre-made blocks is that you have, of course, the kit 1, the kit 2, the categories, the light and the dark. But you can also go over to layouts where all these layouts are. Sometimes I go to a layouts. We worked with dietitian before. If I select this one of the dietitian and I specifically like this section a lot, but I cannot find it anywhere else, what I will do is select it and I'll just click here to import it. And then after I've done that, I'll go ahead and delete it or delete the ones I don't want. So I'll delete this, and this is the one I want to keep. Let me see. Yep. That's also a very nice feature that I can probably put in there, delete. Pricing, we probably won't put it on this page. But look here, nice footer at the bottom. If not, why not? Right? If not, why not? Let's move this one up. So I'll go to the reorders, and this is also features. I'll drag that one there. And by doing that, yes, a few extra clicks that you have to remove things, but this is how you can also build out your page with other templates that are not even related to it. And now we've created this page. So I talked about the sticky header here at the top. What's that all about? Let's talk about that next. Too sticky header or not too sticky header? Some people love it. I found that lately I don't use it anymore. I'm not sure why. I think it's normal for people to scroll to the top, but usually I look for another header or another navigation area at the bottom for the menu. So I don't usually use sticky header anymore, but sticky header is turned on by default. If you don't want it turned on, go to the block settings all the way to the left and select static. Then it will only appear at the top. The other option you have is fixed. Then it will remain there at the top all the time. That's also not bad. Just remember, if you have a massive big header, it takes up too much real estate on the screen, then you probably don't want it fixed. Let's put it back on sticky and see what options we have here. What happens the moment you go sticky is that you basically have two headers. As you scroll down, whoop, that new one pops out. You can add a different logo here. You can change the background here. So if you want to make it look completely different, now you have again to set the menu, change the colors for this one, and I'm going to make it all white. And we align it to the right. But let's also apply a little bit of transparency. And that's how you work with the sticky header. And with our page now set up like this, I think the last thing we can look at is the footer here at the bottom, which I didn't create, I just borrowed it. Welcome back to our multi-page course. My name is JP, and remember to go check out Brizy.io and the Brizy Academy to have access to all the courses we have. Subscribe at YouTube too. We throw a lot of stuff there, always with the latest and cool tips that can really help elevate your website design. Now, what we did here is we brought in this. I actually just used it from another template, but you can go to add new block and you will see footers here at the bottom and choose from these nicely made footers. So let's use one of them. I clicked on it and then I'll go ahead and delete this one. And very important is we also want to make this a global block because we want it to appear on each and every page. Let's go to the block settings all the way to the left and then select make it global. And same like before with the conditions, we're going to put it on all pages, but then we'll say add new display condition, exclude system pages and select the coming soon page. Save that, click outside, I'll update the page and let's go and preview this page now on the front end. This is our page, nice header at the top, our page title section. That's our content. There's our sticky header. Scroll all the way to the bottom and there is our footer. And if we click on any of these navigation links like about, it will take us to the about page. Currently, we don't have any content there, but we have a header and we have a page title and we have a footer. and that's going to be the same for all of the other pages. And you'll bring that content in. So once you are done with your home page, or you want to navigate to any of the other pages to build out, go to the builder, go to your content management system. Under pages, let's go to our about page and select edit. And either build it out yourself with a new block, or go to any of these blocks and start bringing in features that are particular to the business you are branding here and building up. This brings us to the end of part 2. It feels very quick. It's a little bit of a crash course as well, but because you've done everything in part 1 already and you know so many things like the mega menu and the pop-ups, all of that can be incorporated here. So you have that option. Part 1, use a cloned website. Part 2, do everything from scratch. But you can also do things from scratch and then bring in those templates within the block manager and still build it out the way you want it to do. You should have a very good foundation of how you can build a website in Brizy Cloud Pro with many pages at this point. So this brings us to the end of part 2. We've concluded part 2 and we're at part 3, but part 3 is not available on YouTube. Visit us at brizy.io, and in part 3, I'm going to look at things like stories, form element focus, a little bit more about all those fields that you get in the form. Also, we'll look at the gallery element. Oh, super duper. I love this. Block sliders, a little bit more about that. How to add a block video from external URL to your block background. We'll also build out an accordion FAQ, which is frequently asked questions, and we'll review animations, entrance, hover, and scroll animations, which are only available for Brizy Pro users. And that will be covered in part 3. So visit us at brizy.io. Thanks for visiting us here at YouTube. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you around.